Hello, welcome back to Auto Pop Culture. Today we're going over the fourth album by Adele called 30. So, I am a huge fan of Adele, and I got into her, I feel like everybody else, I feel like I officially got into her when she released her 21 album that came out in 2011. And I really, really liked it. And I also liked I like 25, came out in 2015, and then 19 that came out in 2008. That was the first album, and I did like that one. I didn't actually get into it. Actually, it's so funny because I took some songs from it, like 2 or 3, and then later on in life, I got into the actual full album, and so I got to see that piece too. So now that I have literally all 4 all together, I can kind of give an idea of what, an actual full rounded opinion about how I feel about her albums and what I like about her songs and everything. And I do love her voice. I love her voice. I love the idea that she leans into piano, and it's not really, it seems like a lot of her albums is pretty much my voice speaks for itself more than let's have all of these famous producers and let's do this in a remix, let's do this like this, and let's have the latest trend go into this. I feel like there has been 25 and 30 have a couple of songs where it leans into that, a little bit trendy following, but 19 and 21, I felt like did not touch on it at all. It kept to, the piano or its own type of, soulful sound, and I really appreciate that. So, the way to only explain 30 is to go on the trail of what's been going on with her life. So, because this is definitely based on her life, her marriage, and everything. So, we go on from 21, where I felt like I got confused, because I felt like the guy that she divorced is the same guy that she talked about in 21. I want to say that's what is happening. So I'm going to go with that narrative until I'm proven differently. So, pretty much 21, she's having issues with her husband, or issues with this person, and shit wasn't going well, and it was pretty much her anger album, and she was upset, she was hurt, and all that stuff was coming out in that space, and pretty much feeling like it's an end of a relationship that she's kind of talking about. Then we go into 25, where she has given birth, and she is in a happier space. So she kind of talks about, it feels like the album kind of went in a lot of directions, and it felt like it was talking about her kid and about what's going to be like, and then on top of the kind of having a conclusion to the idea of talking about her exes and with the Send My Love, and I feel like, or to your lover. So I feel like in that direction, it was a lot, 25 was supposed to conclude a lot of things, just okay, in a better space now, everything's going, I have a baby on the way, or have a baby now, and now I'm just looking back at everything that I was, and kind of reflecting. It felt like 25 was more reflective, or introspective, I should say. And then we go into 30, which is kind of has a backwards. It honestly feels like a sequel to 21 in a weird way, but a way more mature version of it. You can definitely feel in 21 she was angry, all of these feelings was out. But in this one, there's one angry song, but everything else is kind of also introspective, but also not introspective about well, I think 25 was introspective about her in a way, but I feel like this one is introspective in a way about her and the the lesson of love that she's learned so far. So let's go through some of the songs and talk about it, and I'll talk about my favorite ones, and then give shout outs to some of the other ones, while continue the story, kind of give you explanations of what I thought of what she's saying and the story arc that she's talking about with her divorce. So we have Strangers by Nature, which is a homage to Judy Garland. This is a really, really nice song. I love the idea. It feels like a Judy Garland song. It feels like one of those kind of it feels like in that era, and it feels really nice. I feel like she's talking about kind of what she says, I hope that someday I'll learn to nourish what I've done. I wonder if that's what she's kind of comparing herself to with, or relating to Judy in that space that maybe that they both had this space where they just didn't really take in as much as they accomplished, and or I don't know, like I'm still figuring that out with that song, but I do like the beginning of that song because, and I'll tell you later when it comes to the last song, really like this song. It has that feel. Easy on Me, I thought it was okay. I definitely didn't want it to be. It was the first single to this album, but I do like it. I love the lyrics. The lyrics are great, but I feel like it didn't hit me as hard as Hello or Rolling in a Deep kind of first track or singles, which is kind of weird because it actually has all the materials that I would think I would want, especially materials that go towards Hello, but I wasn't really feeling it as hard. But I do like it. It's pretty much, I do like the topic of the song, which pretty much talks about the idea of her talking to her son, explaining why she had to divorce her husband, and how the son is not really understanding, and she's like, please go easy on me with this, because it's a lot of things that go on in this situation. She says, I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me, had no time to choose what I chose to do. So it seems like a lot of stuff seems like she didn't get to grow to know the world as it was. She kind of immediately fell into a marriage and had that kind of dream start happening without really kind of getting to know the world of what the actual world is, and now she wants to know. But she also knows how that is very complicated to a child, you know, as well as divorce is complicated and stressful for a child as well. Going into the next one that I really like is My Little Love. This is continuing talking to Angelo, the son, who pretty much is like, now that she says like, go easy on me, but now she's gonna show him who she really is, who his mother is really is, now that she is kind of coming in on her own. One thing she says, like, I feel bad to be, it's a lot of stuff that she talks about, like, where she kind of explains herself of why the divorce happened and what her feeling was before the divorce happened. So she says, I feel so bad to be here when I'm so guilty. I'm so far gone, and you're the only one who can save me, pointing to her son. And then it kind of talks about more of it. She's like, I feel like today was the first day since I left him that I feel lonely. I am a bit frightened that I might feel this way a lot. So it's pretty much just, it's a weird space of kind of being vulnerable to her son and just explaining exactly how she feels and explaining why how she felt before the divorce and after the divorce to her son, which is kind of cool. I think that's going to really have a great bond between them, having to be, like, I always believe in talking, when it comes to talking to your kid about something and they ask a question, give them the answer, you know? If they don't understand the answer, then that's a difference, because then you can, like, I'll explain more to you, or break it down to you when you get older so you can understand more. But this is the answer to that question. So I feel like it's exactly what she's doing in this situation. I love that. He's going to understand what divorce and understand love so much earlier and have a wiser direction towards it in the future. It's going to be really great. Going into the next one, Cry Your Heart Out. This one has a nice little reggae meets Motown kind of feel, which is very different from what she usually does, but I really, really like it. This one just goes on more about how she is very, very depressed after, feeling very depressed after her divorce. And so, but she points out just like, I feel this way, I'm upset, but she also feels like she's taking a space where she's understanding that she needs to cry it all out. She needs to kind of get it all off her chest and just feel all of this feeling. She says, cry your heart out. It'll clean your face. When you're in doubt, go at your own pace. Pretty much, it feels like she's talking about in a space where she's still wondering, is like, when am I going to feel like myself again? But she knows in a space that she needs to kind of feel this and just feel it. And reflect, and also kind of knowing that this is all healthy in the end. I love this part that she says, she's like, all love is devout. No feeling is a waste, but give it to yourself now before it's too late. So it seems like she's also in a space, maybe, that she never really gave herself enough love, as much as she was giving her love to her, marriage. So now she's feeling it's kind of emptiness. It's like, oh, what do I do with it now? Like, and it's just like, she kind of reminds us and herself in the end to give it to herself and be patient with herself. And that's how you love yourself, is to give yourself that space. I do like that. I really, really like that message. Actually, I'm gonna go through the whole album, honestly. The next song, which I didn't star, but I do like the message. Oh My God. This one talks about her wanting to kind of put herself first, but I think what's more, it says wanting to put herself first, and then having issues and conflict about, like, kind of doing that. But I really feel like it's about her wanting to kind of hook up with people, you know, go out and have fun. But I feel like because in the space of her having that divorce, she feels guilty to do that. She feels guilty to kind of smile and just have a good time. But she knows that's one of the great ways she's okay to do so. She's kind of telling herself, like, it is okay to do so, even though you have this weird space, we don't feel like you deserve to do so, you know? Can I Get It was okay. I felt like there's a whistling part, and it felt like this was the most commercial sound on this album. There's a whistling part in the chorus that I didn't really care for. This one pretty much talks about, wanting a real relationship instead of relationships that devolve into casual sex. Seems like what she pointed out before in the stuff that I was looking up was pretty much that in LA, it was very easy to find casual sex. That wasn't the hard part. The hard part was actually dating people who she might want a further interest in. And so she just definitely this song kind of leans into that. And I also find it kind of awkward that she, like, not that it's whatever, but, like, it felt like with part she says, I want to be the melody, the rhythm, the rhyme, your rhyme. All I want is for you to be mine, so can I get it now? And then she kind of moans. It's kind of weird. It's like, oh, I had never heard Adele moan in any of her music, but here she is. It's new, but I definitely felt like the song just felt like it was pushing for something, and it didn't really, I don't know, it just doesn't feel natural like the other ones did. The next song I do like is Drink Wine, which pretty much talks about shedding one's ego, and pretty much the idea is that she kind of reflecting on herself and thinking the idea just like, just kind of learning to get out her own way. And she says things like, I hope to learn to get over myself, stop trying to be somebody else. I just want to love you for free, because everybody wants something from me, but you just want me. So it feels like she sees in the marriage, looking back at the marriage, that she was in a really, really, like, stressful space in her life, and a lot of things she took very, very, very personal. And that was around the time where she was doing 21, and she was getting a rise and all this stuff that was happening and being mainstream, but she took everything personally without really being present in the marriage that she was in. And so she says, even though it was so much fun, I didn't get to go on and make new memories with him. There's just memories in a big storm. I think that's very interesting to say, and I love that. I think a lot of people can relate to that. This song is a little more upbeat in the way of the sound, and I feel like she mentions that she wanted that for the reason because she didn't want it to be, a lot of the lyrics is going to hit a lot of people, or hit home with a lot of people, so she wants to give you a little break in the production so it doesn't hit too hard where you can't enjoy the song. All Night Parking featuring Errol Garner. This one is an interlude, somewhat of an interlude. It's more of like a short song. This one talks about pretty much the intoxicating feeling of falling in love with, or falling for someone new. So now she's dating, she's pretty much had this thing where she started talking to this guy that was there in long distance, but she kind of knew that it wouldn't go anywhere far, but she liked the idea, the feeling of just feeling that feeling of like, oh my God, I think I actually really, really like you. And we have a great connection, you know. It didn't last, but she is very grateful for it happening at all, you know. A Woman Like Me is her first angry song that she finally just, for a moment, this is the one song that she finally kind of releases all her feelings about it's like without being reflective, more being kind of like upset with her ex and herself. So she says, pretty much more directly towards her ex and just talking about how he's complacent, lazy, and all these other things. It's like, oh wow, this feels very 21. It feels very 21. And it says, if you don't choose to change, we can't even know, or ever gonna know just how good it could be. And then she goes into like consistency is a gift to give for free and it's the key to keep a woman like me. I love the fact that she does, in the midst of this song, realizes her worth in the whole time. I think that's really, really cool. Thought the song was kind of, the production-wise was very boring to me. I felt like it just kind of stayed like this the whole time. Not looking for a key change or anything. I just feel like it needs to, it just felt like the other songs, even when it had like, My Love, My Little Love. That one has a kind of like a consistent, like, production, but there's a lot of levels to it, so that keeps you invested. I feel like this one, production-wise, wasn't my favorite. Now we're really into really good songs, the 6-minute songs. Hold On is the next song. I really, really like this song. This one pretty much talks about her wanting to hold on and realize that love will come eventually, and she's really down on herself, and she says, like, I'm so tired of battling with myself with no chance of winning. And then she goes, I'm my own enemy. Right now, I truly hate being me. And how can I feel so mighty small when I am struggling to feel at all? It's a full thing that she feels. But then she goes in and says, she's like, it kind of assures not only herself, but kind of indirectly to everybody else that it's in her position. She's like, sometimes loneliness is the only rest we get, and the emptiness actually lets us forget. And then it ends with Adele, a choir that sings "Hold On, Hold On" kind of thing. But the choir is actually her friends, her actual friends are singing. And that's the whole thing that she wanted. She wanted to have a choir at the end, but she wanted to have her friends, because that's exactly what they said to her when it came to these times in which she was talking to them about this. They said, hold on. So she added them to the end to kind of add, I don't know how to explain this, but pretty much just add them to say, like, these are the people that helped me hold on. Going to the next one that I really like is To Be Loved. The vocals are insane. Insane in this one and insane in Love is a Game. This one talks about pretty much being, taking sacrifices in life that are for things that are important. And I think that in this one, she talks about, pretty much the idea of just like a mixture between what love means to her and the idea of what it has done to her, but at the same time, what she's done to hold on to love too. And she says, let it be known, or there's a couple things that I wrote down. So it's like, it's time for me to face myself. All I do is bleed into somebody else. That could mean that she kind of brings her baggage onto somebody else's space to kind of have them help her deal with it. I'll never learn if I never leap. Pretty much saying that she needs to kind of just jump into love, and she needs to kind of give it a try eventually. And then she goes, to be loved and love at the highest count means to lose all the things I can't live without. I feel like in that situation was a kind of thing of just like, love is great, but love can also be bad, or love could also be very sacrificing, because you can if it doesn't go well, or if it isn't taken properly, it's like, it's not medicine. If it's not used properly, it could turn into something of you losing everything that you lived for, that you had before. And then she goes in, she's like, let it be known that I cried for you and even started lying to you. what a thing to do, all because I wanted to be loved. It's a thing. It's a full-on thing when it comes to love. Is what I feel like what she's saying is that you do a lot of stupid things. You may do things that you don't usually do as a person, and it's all in a space of just wanting to be loved and wanting to love, you know. And I think that it's literally the reason why there's so many songs about the crazy thing about love, you know. And then finally the last song is Love is a Game. This one is inspired by trying to figure out a last song for the album, and while watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, she was like, this song that she's writing I would want this to be the credit song for Breakfast at Tiffany's. I've never seen it, but I'm assuming that it's similar to what this topic's gonna say, what I'm gonna say this topic is. She says a lot of things about, like, love is a game for fools, what a cruel thing to self-inflict that pain, how unbelievable for me to fall for the lies that I tell, the dream that I sell, no amount of love can help me, it can keep me satisfied, the feelings flood me to the height of no compromise. A lot of things that she's saying are negative about love, but then you kind of go in where she kind of ends it where she's like, oh, you know, I'll do it again. I love it now like I loved it then. I'm a fool for them. Pretty much saying that just like, as much as love can be stressful and a lot and just a lot of work, there's nothing more addicting than to be loved and to love kind of thing. And I think that's kind of what she's leading into, is just like, in the end, love always wins when it comes to this, because everybody wants it, you know? No matter how bad you get it, no matter how toxic it becomes, in the end of it, you still want it, you know? I give this album an 8 out of 10 only because there were some songs that just, like, didn't hit as hard, or the more, like, the production was the issue, more than the actual lyrics and song. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Tell me what your favorite song was, or if you liked the album. If you didn't, let me know too. If you like this if you like this review, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and the subscribe button so you can get more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.